It's a great honor and a privilege to introduce Rivkah Savinsky from Moscow. You've just come to Israel recently for your grandchild?
Yes, to have a look at my grandchild number 7.
Wow, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. And you live in Moscow?
Yes.
Wow, were you born in Moscow?
Yes, I was born.
Wow.
In Moscow, yes, but I'm Jewish, and we're not the team, but still, you see, of course, we maintain just try to maintain Jewish culture, Jewish feasts, and of course, Shabbat.
Wonderful.
And Seder Pesach, all my family, you see, we come together.
Wonderful.
Because Elijah is only one of my kids who lives in Israel, but the other 4 live in Moscow. But Seder, they're not very religious. But on Seder, all of them come to my place, put on kippot.
Wow.
Not only my children, but my grandchildren as well.
It's wonderful.
Yes, and you see, we do a traditional Seder.
Yeah.
And
do you live near the Choral Shul, the Choral Synagogue?
no.
But you've been to the Choral Synagogue?
No, you see, it's in Moscow. No, it's how it's called, Lithuanian synagogue. Just traditional synagogue.
Oh, traditional. Okay.
Yes.
So Rivkah, you just came back from a trip to Lithuania?
Yeah, no, just now, but in March, I was in Lithuania. Just, you see, I remember from my childhood some stories of my descended parents. You see, just pronouncing this name, Vilna. And you see, I don't have any relatives there in Vilna, but I just wanted to be, you see, to have lived the most part of my life already. I decided to visit this place because, you see, I had something inside. I just wanted to have a look at this place. So I bought a ticket and flew there. And in Vilna, I visited only the places connected with the life of Jews. And thanks God Almighty, you see, they conserve all these places. And you see, I visited the place where there was ghetto during the Second World War, and there are several museums, Jewish museums in Vilna. And then I went to Kaunas. Kaunas, you see, just in the suburb of Kaunas, there is a museum devoted to the memory of this Japanese consul.
Shreine Sugihara.
Yes. Yes, who helped a lot of Jews to survive during the war. You see, it was great.
And you heard the story, you knew about the story about
Yes. Just before going to Lithuania, I've examined everything connected with the life of Jews there. And of course, I was in the synagogue on Friday evening, and it was also great.
You know, Shreine Sugihara, he knew Russian fluently.
Oh,
and
I didn't know
he was
that.
an expert in Russian. And after the war, that's why he was actually sent. He was sent to Lithuania.
Oh.
They opened up a consulate when all the other countries were closing, 2 months before Hanukkah in 1939. And the reason was because he was there basically also as a spy to find out what the Russians and the Germans were doing. But it was all meant to be min hashamayim, because he saved over 6,000 Jews. He saved the whole Mir Yeshiva, and he saved over 6,000 Jews.
I know that.
And then after the war, when he lost his job and he was persona non grata, he had no work, so he went to Russia, and he earned his living in Russia.
Yes.
He opened up a little business in Russia because he spoke Russian fluently.
Yes.
So the connection with Russia is very, very, very pronounced.
Yes.
And how was your feelings when you went to the museum, when you went to the consulate?
Well, but I've already been prepared to something because I knew the story. You see, I just was overwhelmed with it. You see, it was something you can't even express it in words. You see, I was touched a lot with this, you see, because we know that the majority of the world hates us. And we feel it everywhere, although nowadays, living in Moscow, we don't have this official anti-Semitism, no. But still, you see, from your neighbors or anywhere, of course, especially when with my, you see, I don't look like a Russian. So sometimes I could be offended as a Jew or as something else, not being Russian. But of course it's nothing to me. In Lithuania, I can't say that they love Jews very much. And I felt it especially in Kaunas when, you see, I addressed one woman, middle-aged woman, just wanting to ask you, how could I get to, I don't know, to the railway station? And she looked at me with, if not hatred, but still, she didn't like my appearance and she didn't even answer me. And I felt that it was because I look Jewish.
Really? Wow.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Yes, but you see, for me, I thank God Almighty for Him to give me birth as a Jew.
That's wonderful. Wow.
Yes.
And is this, you've been to Israel before, or is this your first?
Oh, yes. No. You see, in fact, I've lived here for a couple of years because, well, the story of our family is such as living in the USSR. Me and my husband in the 70s of the 19th century decided to make Aliyah, but in those days there were a lot of obstacles. So we were sure that we would get here. Elijah was not even born in those days, but we still had 3 kids. But unfortunately, we were not allowed to. So if you know, there is such a word in the English language as Refusnick.
Yeah, sure,
you know.
sure.
So we were a Refusnick family.
They wouldn't allow you to leave Russia?
No.
USSR.
You see, of course, these years were not easy for us because both of us were dismissed from our jobs, but we had help from all the world, especially from British Jews and from American as well. So we could somehow survive. But then you see, life went on, and I think it was 10 years ago when I was already alone, living alone, and I decided that time came for me to make Aliyah. And I made it, really. And I lived in the north, in the small town of Carmel.
I know Carmel.
Yes, a beautiful place. But still, you see, I was happy there. But you see, I had a lot of grandchildren and children, and then one day I understood that it was not right for me living here and being happy, and for them living there and being not very happy. And so I made this not very easy decision. So I descended, as you say it in Hebrew. I know a little bit of Hebrew. I can understand almost everything, and I read Torah in Hebrew.
Wow.
Yes, because we have a group of Jewish believers, and we come together apart from synagogue just for reading Torah in Hebrew.
Amazing. Do you think any of your children in Moscow will come make Aliyah and come to Israel?
Unfortunately, for the time being, not.
But maybe in the future.
Maybe grandchildren. You see, they love, as they say, Mommy, we understand your love for Israel. But what could we do here? They have good jobs in Russia, and maybe if the situation gets worse in Russia, they will do that.
The nice thing is that they know that there's a place, home that they can come to.
Yes.
Where today,
They know that.
Yeah.
They know that.
And that's very comforting, knowing that
Yes.
they never have to rely on anyone else. They've got their own home that they can return to at any time.
Yes, I know that. But maybe at least one of my grandchildren, a girl of 18, she's thinking about going there through Sechnut programs. You know, there are special programs for youngsters. Maybe she will do that in a year when she finishes her education in Russia.
And can I ask, did your late husband, did he come and visit Israel?
No,
He never managed to.
never.
But it was a dream to come.
Yes, of course.
So your son is fulfilling his dream.
Yeah, yes.
It really is.
That's
And you've
it.
got a grandchild now.
Yes.
He's been born here, Sabra.
Yes, I began coming here when he joined the army here.
Wow.
So you see, as a Jewish mother,
That's wonderful.
I came there to have a look at him and so on and so on. So I've been here a lot of times.
So you must be very proud.
Yes, I am.
Oh, thank you. And you're here today on Yom Yerushalayim, the reunification of Jerusalem.
Yes. I just, you see, after their visit here, I just asked them to leave me alone. I just want to go to Mea Shearim. I can't understand. I adore this place for no reason. I just like wandering there and looking at these strange people. You see, it's like time machine.
It's true. It's so true.
Yes, and I enjoy it greatly. And beside that, I want to buy a mezuzah,
That's wonderful.
just a scroll.
Thank you so much. It's been such a privilege to meet you and to speak to you.
For me to.
And just that I know your son, that he's such a dear patient. So it really is wonderful.
Yes.
And I thank you so much. And enjoy your stay here and just have a lot of mazel and brocha and nachas from your grandchild and your
Yeah.
children.
Toda Rabba.